What's going on, Phins fans? It is your boy Dillon, and I'm here to do my recap video for the Hard Knocks episode that just aired tonight, episode 5. Obviously, coming off this awesome win against the Jets, told everybody we were going to bounce back, and we totally did. But let's go ahead and jump into this. So, obviously, at this point, we've come to realize that, these Hard Knocks episodes are going to have a pretty, similar structure to them, right? You're definitely going to have some, portions where you get to look inside the meeting rooms. You're going to have speeches by coaches. You're going to have, some players or whatever and families featured. Obviously, there's going to be practice. There's going to be, highlights of the game that week and so on and so forth. And I love it. I love it because, it gives us the best thing, and the thing that I love the most about it is that really behind the scenes look at, everything, just what's going on. I mean, you don't get everything, obviously. There's no way to get everything, but, you really get a good look at what's going on. And one of my favorite parts is how, Mike McDaniel talks and communicates with his players and with this team and the messages that he gives, man, and so obviously, it starts off with, recapping last week and the loss to the Titans and, him basically saying, listen, man, this is adversity. And I hate to start what obviously towards the beginning of the episode, you get a Mike McDaniel speech where he's like, look, this shit sucks and I hate to do this to you guys, but, we got to watch it. We got to go through it. We got to talk about it because, at the end of the day, sometimes this shit happens and you just gotta, you can't run from it, and you gotta own it. You gotta take it on the chin. You gotta learn from it. And you gotta grow from it. And he goes on to talk about obviously adversity breeding opportunity and, taking these moments to grow. And it was funny because I said in one of my previous videos, even before this, that, look, this could even be one of the best things to happen this team at this particular moment because you know what? Sometimes it takes a gut check. Sometimes it takes you having one of these moments where you really have to look yourself in the mirror. And I would have rather have had it happen right then and there and then, bounce back. And look, here's the thing. I get it, right? Because we all have PTSD as Dolphins fans, but for me, there are tangible reasons, not just the feeling that I have. And we're seeing a lot of it. You're seeing a lot of the tangibles and the intangible reasons behind the scenes now with Hard Knocks as to why there is a belief in me that this team is different. And, I love that he's always got these guys laser focused and wanting and willing to learn and grow from it. And they're such a brotherhood, man. Like they love each other, they play for each other, and it is very, very apparent. Which actually leads me to one of the features in this, which was actually Christian Wilkins and Zach Sieler. And I'm actually just really quick going to bring this up because, this is just a little, from Twitter or whatever, some clips. Christian Wilkins and Zach Sieler, they kind of highlight their friendship. And then, obviously there was this one portion during the game, I'm kind of skipping around a little bit, but where Mike McDaniel,
I'm really visualizing a one-play drive here.
He's like, I'm really visualizing a one-play drive here.
I'm not visualizing a one-play
and
drive.
This was right before Waddle's touchdown, which was a one-play drive. Like that shit was fucking nuts, right? Like, but anyway, but seeing cool shit like that too, right? Or like when we got to see Mike McDaniel on the sideline be like, yo, I got roundhouse kicked in the fucking shoulder and then also hit in the dick, right? Like seeing shit like that, it's funny, it's fun. Also, it's somber, but the Jalen Phillips stuff, right? So this is what makes this part of it amazing. Now, obviously, last week when we lost and we had to watch that in Hard Knocks, that sucks. But that just comes with the territory in the same way that losing a game sometimes comes with the territory. By the way, Braxton Berrios obviously was also, featured quite a bit in this one. He had a good game. for the limited role. He had a nice return. He got bloodied. He had a nosebleed at one point. Andrew Van Ginkel was playing with a broken nose in that game. Craziness. But like, these guys are amazing, dude. And I just love this team. But anyway, getting back to it. So, he talks to him and he tells him, he's like, listen, man, we can take this opportunity and we can learn and we can grow from it and we can be better from it. And they did. And obviously, I was telling you guys last week that, and of course, as fans, we say this shit and there's no way to actually guarantee it. But like I said, I have the feeling, from a philosophical or superstitious or like, faith-based kind of thing, I have a feeling from that perspective, I have a good feeling that this team is different, but there are also plenty of tangible and intangible reasons for why I think this team is different. So, and you could look at the stats that we have on offense and defense. Right now, we're the number one ranked offense. We're back to number one. And we're the number 5th overall ranked defense in the league. I mean, I told you guys this defense by the end of the season was going to be top 10, possibly even top 5. And here we are. And it's fucking amazing. And you love to see it. We're on the verge of having 2,000-yard receivers and a 1,000-yard rusher, which has never happened in Miami Dolphins history. We've set all kinds of records. I mean, Raheem Mostert just set single-season touchdown records and is going to continue to expand on that, I would imagine, down the stretch. These last 3 games, right? So, I mean, it's just, not to mention also the rushing touchdown. He surpassed Clayton and Ricky Williams in their respective categories for those records. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. And Dolphins fans, we need to just soak it up. Could it all come crashing down this week, next week, the week after? Absolutely. But again, we've still and look, I know that we have the absolute highest expectations for this team and so on and so forth at this point, especially with how they've performed and where they've gotten. But honestly, man, just the simple fact that I've gotten the opportunity to live through this kind of a season with this much hype and this much excitement and where I can actually feel really good about my team, I'm just happy to have that, if I'm being completely honest, man. I know look, I don't want Dolphins fans to get into that kind of like realm where Patriots fans are and have been, where they're super entitled. We still haven't even won anything yet. And I feel like a lot of Dolphins fans are kind of, not intentionally necessarily, but getting into that where it's like, all right, well, now we got to get the number 1 seed. We have to win the division. We have to win playoff games. We got to get to the Super Bowl. And I think we can. And I think we will. But let's just fucking calm down and let's keep things in perspective, because at the end of the day, we have not been in this position in so long. We're used to being in the position that the Bills are in, where they're trying to figure out a way to, okay, well, now we have to, not only do we have to take care of our business, which is hard enough in this league, right? Who knows? The Chargers could end up, I don't think it's going to happen, but the Chargers could end up beating the Bills this week. We could beat Dallas and then division's clinched. That scenario does exist. Not just the playoffs, right? You feel me? And then if the Ravens lose, and then if the Chiefs were to somehow lose, we could clinch number 1 seed next week still. Those things are still in play. You feel me? So it's like, we need to be grateful as Dolphins fans that we're even in this position to begin with, because it's fucking phenomenal and we haven't been here in such a long time. And even over the past couple decades when we were in positions to make it to the playoffs and stuff, like seriously, how, like, in any of those like 2 or 3 times, because it certainly hasn't been very many, but how many of those times did we go in feeling like this confident or good about our squad? Do we have injury problems? Yes, but I actually feel like they can overcome it. I do. Anyway, so anyway. Was there anything else from the episode that is of note? So, obviously, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of, default kind of core aspects. You're going to see things, portions in practice. Oh, I did want to note too that, it did seem like in the portions where they showed at practice that there was a ton of energy, a ton of life and excitement. You know what I'm saying? And that they were really, ready to hunker down, focus in, and come out humbled and hungry, just like I said they were, and they absolutely did. And that really starts from the coach down, from Mike McDaniel, and the kind of culture that he has set. Also, too, I loved when they went to Chubb, who was in the linebackers room watching film all on his own. And you could tell he was pissed, man, rewatching that Titans game. And he came out like a man, with his head on fire and just lit them up. And it was beautiful to see. But look, I mean, here's how I'll end it. We talked last week about how we cannot let things spiral after that loss. Look, if they come out and they bounce back, okay, we had that loss. Everybody trips up. It is what it is. And they did that. But now we're still in a position where if we win out, we're the number 1 seed. And we don't need to worry about anything else that anybody else does. Point blank, bottom line, period. And that is such a beautiful fucking thing. So let's take it 1 week at a time. Let's see what happens. I'm feeling pretty good about this game against the Cowboys. And look, I would venture to guess, especially considering it's the most recent game. And one thing that we've seen is when they're doing their game planning throughout the week, obviously they look at the most recent game because that's where you're probably going to get the best information from. And I really hope that Mike McDaniel does lean. Look, I think it's trending very much, and we'll do the preview video at the end of the week. And, we'll obviously look at the injury report. But I think Howard, Holland, Elliott, and Hill are all going to be back in this game. And if that's the case, even without them, I still think our chances are all right, frankly. The only real key, if I'm being completely honest for this game, is to just follow the blueprint that the Buffalo Bills put on tape this past week. If there's one positive to the Bills not losing that game, it's that they gave us the absolute perfect blueprint. And here's what's even more beautiful about it. If the Dolphins do lean into the run like that, they won't need to pass a lot, but he can pass a handful of times, maybe attempt as many as Josh Allen did, maybe like 15, 20 attempts, something like that. Although, Tua, he's accurate as fuck, so he's going to hit a higher percentage than what Josh Allen did this past week, especially considering the fact that we get that run game cooking and start putting that Dallas defense on their heels. Then there's going to be opportunities for Hill and Waddle to get behind that defense and get big chunk plays, if not touchdowns. You feel me? So there will, I think, even be opportunities for Hill to at least keep himself on pace for potentially 2,000 yards this season. I don't think it's completely unrealistic that he ends up hitting 150 or so yards in this game. And the thing is right now he would need to average about 150 or 155, somewhere in there. I think it is. I think it's like 152, 153, the remainder of the last 3 games, the remainder of the season to hit that mark. That's going to be tough to do, especially against these teams. But I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility. To me, the hardest game is going to be that Ravens game, particularly because we're on the road. However, with this team, and if they employ the proper game plan, basically just, what the Bills did to the Cowboys, they're coming into our stadium. They're terrible on the road. They're not very good against the run. Lean into that. Get some play action, roll out a little bit, whatever, 4 or 5 step drop backs, whatever, deep shot to Hill, deep shot to Waddle when it opens. Like those opportunities will be there. And I think this could end up being one of those games where Hill ends up having 5 or 6 catches, but ends up going for 200 yards. It's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not. And even against the Bills in week 18, I still think he could probably put up maybe $150 or so in that game too. Just mostly because of how injured that defense is. You know what I'm saying? And they're not getting any healthier either. Nobody is, of course, but you get what I'm saying. So anyway, those are really my thoughts. And, it was another good episode. I am looking forward to it. Obviously, there's the two ways it could go. If we end up losing to the Cowboys, obviously it's going to be kind of a bummer next week. And we're not going to really want to watch Hard Knocks. If we win, we're all going to love watching Hard Knocks because we're going to be able to get to see the behind the scenes. But I feel really good about this game. I think we're going to win. And honestly, bro, don't be surprised if we do end up winning these last 3 games. Again, and even as fans, and for me too, I think I'm even going to try not to look too far ahead. We're fans. We don't need to necessarily be the ones that are locked in. It's the coaches and the players to really dictate the result on Sundays. But at the same time, I'm going to kind of try and keep myself locked in. And I think you guys should too, just 1 week at a time, because we don't want to try and get ourselves too overhyped and be like, yeah, we're definitely winning the next 3 games and locking up the number 1 seed, because, it might not happen. I mean, we could even lose one of these next games and still get the number 1 seed. I mean, there are just so many ways that it could turn out, but I like where this team is. I like where we're going, and I feel good about it. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. If you do like my comments and my thoughts about it, I hope you do, and I hope you guys can keep yourselves optimistic and looking forward to what's to come, because I think it is going to be something special. But if you like it, like my thoughts, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave comments down in the comment section, all that good stuff. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. And I'm out of here. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And Phins up all day, every day.
7 seconds left. Tannehill will throw it. And this will end it after the shovel. Taken place here in South Florida. The Dolphins have done it. They keep their season alive. 69 yards. Wow. Pure joy. Miami wins it.